You are listening to the Critical Mass Radio Show, Orange County's business talk show, focused on exploring topics of interest to CEOs who are leading middle market companies. With your host, Richard Franzi.
Hello and welcome to Orange County's longest running business talk show. And yes, I am your host, Rick Franzi. And boy, do we have a good show planned for you today. Why do you ask? Because Ena Hull is our guest. She is the chair for the Newport Beach chapter of Tiger 21. Ena, welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me, Rick.
So let's get right into it. What was your motivation to join Tiger 21 and to become a chair in Newport Beach?
Well, I actually was not aware of Tiger 21 when I began discussions with them last summer. I had a recruiter who contacted me. And as I began to look into the Tiger 21 organization, I was very aware of peer-to-peer groups such as YPO or Vistage. And this group resonated with me because of the member that they served and the level of expertise and the quality of the organization. And so as I began the conversations with them about chairing a third cohort in Newport Beach, I thought it was a wonderful opportunity for me to align with some of the things that I love doing and being involved in other peer groups, such as the Exceptional Women's Alliance and other groups that are out there. Peer groups are really, really powerful, and it just resonated with me that why not be around an amazing group of individuals and be able to chair them at the same time.
So there are a number of fine organizations in this space. I happen to be a part of one that's a global organization, REF, and have been since 2007. I'm wondering, for Tiger 21, can you explain to our audience the niche that they serve, the kind of people that become members, and then a little bit about the organization at large?
Absolutely. So the organization was founded by entrepreneur and a gentleman by the name of Michael Sonnenfeld. And Michael had a liquidity event in the late 90s, and he was involved in a peer group. It found that once he had that event, there was not another group outside of that he could lean into. And he founded the Tiger organization through a collective group of entrepreneurs and wealth creators that had liquidity events, and they were in a different stage of where they were in their careers and the growth that they needed to go to that next level. So this organization, I think what differentiates it from others, one, it does take care, it serves the ultra high net worth member who's had either a liquidity event or is getting close to having a liquidity event, or maybe, half of our members are also founders and entrepreneurs or in family offices. But it's a space where they could actually talk about money openly and what they're investing in. And I think it's been well said by a few other Tiger chairs that they talk about the differences is that some of these other organizations are about, getting wealthy or getting rich as you're building your wealth. Tiger is after that. It's maintaining your wealth. It's a different skill set required from making money to keeping your money. And this is a pure safe space. It's a non-solicitation environment where the members can sit down with their peers and have very open discussions about what they're doing with their wealth, what their next may look like. And a lot of members will say they're not retiring, they're rewiring, and they want to be around other individuals and smart individuals to help them make some of these big decisions.
So as a chair, what is your role and function within Tiger 21?
That's a great question. So much like there's a conductor to an orchestra, I am the conductor of this group. So my role is to create an experience and bring in, keep the conversation moving forward. We have a particular meeting format where we have the member provide what they call your world update. And that's what's happening in their world, not what's necessarily happening around the world, but what's been going on in their lives. And keeping that conversation moving forward where we pick up on opportunities and or issues that need to be resolved, and we'll talk about that. From there, we have a conversation about what's called a portfolio defense. So one member is featured each month where they open up their portfolio and they openly talk about their philosophy behind investing, how that individual is wired, where did they get where they are today. There's a lot of personal dynamics that go behind the wealth and concerns, whether it is estate planning, family dynamics, and they would like a space where they can talk to peers that are dealing with those same type of issues and how they may have navigated that. And so my role is to create the magic in the room, make sure that one, that the timing is right, two, that we bring in great speakers and we talk about the services that our members and the exclusive things that they get access to, whether it's amazing speakers from around the world, because we have cohorts all around the world now. It's a global organization. And be very cognizant about listening what's happening and taking the questions and keeping the focus and notes of what's occurring in that group.
So is my understanding Tiger 21 is by invitation only?
It is by invitation only. So these are members and they go through a process. Each member must have at least $20 million of investable assets. They must all sign NDAs. They go through a background check. And then my job as a chair is to ensure that we have a diverse group of individuals. So you don't want individuals from the same business lines in the same room. You want different asset classes. You want different backgrounds, because that's where the collective learning comes, is when you have a diverse group sitting around the table. So these are men, they are women from anywhere from real estate, private equity, family office, to wealth management services, founder-owned companies. And so those conversations are incredible when you get those individuals in the room. And we also want to eliminate competition. So we do our best to make sure that there's no one in the rooms that they're competing with each other. And then they do have we have a strict non-solicitation clause so that the conversations are pure, that when you're getting advice from a peer member in the room, you're able to get really good advice that's in your best interest and not because they're trying to sell a product. And so it is by invitation only. The member meets with myself. They also, the core group and the cohort also has a little bit of a say of what's going on in that next group, because it changes the culture of the group. We want to make sure that the individual, I always like to say they have the time, the talent, and the treasure to give back, because it all starts with there. They have to have a willingness to learn, be transparent, and give back.
So how do you bring new members in? What is that process like?
What is that? Well, this is the power of networking. So when I was approached to take on this role, I thought, oh, can I find who these individuals are? Unfortunately, and I know we'll talk a little bit about this, is, the power of network is incredible. Your network is your net worth. So I have some of the members, there was a waiting list when I took on this new role and taking on a cohort, talking to new members. I also, through my own networking and meeting individuals and having really good conversations. And so through referrals, through events like this, folks will reach out to me through LinkedIn when I had discussed or opened up that I was the Tiger 21 chair. The members themselves are kept confidential. That's the one thing I do want to share.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not going to hear a lot about Tiger 21 in terms of a marketing space, and that is by design. It's the chairs that talk about the organization, not the members themselves. Some of the members will talk and do interviews and share their experience, but for the most part, it is the chair and curating that right group. And so that is what I get to do as the conductor of this group, is to make sure that I'm bringing the best of the best together, that the personalities, the people that are going to be engaged all have the right mindset when they're walking in that door.
That's awesome responsibility, Ena. Kind of final question. You said at the top of the show, you are now the chair for the third chapter in
Yes.
Newport Beach. And what's the area that you draw from for members?
So that's a great question. So this cohort that is starting on August 6th is based in the Newport Beach area. The members are coming from as far north as Long Beach, Huntington Beach area, and as far south as, Oceanside, South County. So the members are coming in and they're traveling in. They will meet once a month with this group in Newport. We will probably move some of those meetings around, but it is it's about a 6-hour meeting where we meet and we start, like I said, the update and the portfolio defense. We get feedback, and then there's an educational content where we have a guest speaker in the room.
Well, it's very exciting. I empathize and celebrate the work that you're doing. It's important for people to get around peers, to
It
be
is.
honest, transparent, vulnerable. Yeah, that never gets old, regardless of how successful you are. Those qualities are so key.
It is key. Lifelong learning is, I think it's the way to the path to happiness, and learning from each other and being around people that feel the same way is important.
I think it's a fountain of youth.
It is. It really is.
So let's talk about you. You said the word portfolio in its first with your first couple answers, and you have you've built a portfolio career for yourself. And so I'm wondering if you could just talk about this professional chapter in your life, Ena.
Oh, well, it has been a journey. So of course, I have had an expansive career in education and in finance, and in the last few years investing. And I chose to go into a portfolio position when I decided to step down from my chief operating role a little over a year ago. It was to allow myself to grow and do bigger things that were more fulfilling for me. Not that I wasn't in a great position in a great company, but I wanted to be able to do more. And a portfolio career felt like that was the right path for me. And so it allows me, one, to go and meet some amazing people, stretch myself in the skills and talents that I do really, really well. And what I found was when I was stuck in a niche market, which I had been in a really long time, you kind of get stale. And I have been insanely curious for as long as I can remember, which is part of why I think I've been successful, is that there isn't a rabbit hole that I won't go down and research and study. But I wanted to be able to take my gifts and the things that I knew and just open it to a broader audience. And so I do advisory work for private equity. I'm on a couple of boards. I do board work. I'm now chairing Tiger 21. And this allows me the autonomy to pick and select what I'd like to do. Because at the end of the day, when you're doing work that makes you happy, it's your best work. Then it doesn't feel like work anymore. And it felt like the right time for me. And so this filled in a gap. Tiger was a perfect fit for this, as well as the board work that I'm doing today, mentoring and coaching other executive women and just teaching and sharing what I know, because I love sharing what I know with others. And you can't really do that all the time when you have an 8 to 5 job. And sometimes it's 8 to 10 at night. And this allows me to do that and to spread my wings and do really awesome work.
And it's not bad to have that type of a career and to be in Orange County, is it?
It is not. We're really blessed to be in Orange County. That is for sure. As I look at the weather today, I always think about that. It is a blessing. And we have so much, not in terms of just wealth, but the richness of businesses and the people that are down here. It's expensive, right? But in order to live down here and afford it, you have to be successful, and you have to be, most of the individuals down here, and they're all, what I have found at the amazing people that are down here. That was the other thing with my career. It took off. I didn't get a chance to meet the people in my own backyard, but now that I have built out my portfolio career going into 2 years, it's incredible the new friends and colleagues that I have in my own backyard, and they were my neighbors and I didn't even know it.
I had the exact same experience after I stopped my corporate career to do what I do for REF. I realized my Rolodex was everywhere almost but Orange County, and I needed to do some work. Yeah.
I knew everybody across the country, but I didn't know my own backyard.
Right. Yeah.
And it's just been delightful to have coffee and lunch and talk with individuals and talk about their journeys. And like I said, it fit very well with Tiger and my role.
So I wonder if you could share a piece of business advice that you have found really valuable as you've navigated your career. Could you pay that forward with our audience today?
That is actually really, yes, I could. I'm going to networks, building really strong relationships. I was an early adopter of LinkedIn in the mid 2000s. And so I was an early adopter because I wanted to build my network, and many of the relationships that I've built over the last 30 years of my career, I've maintained. And you never know how powerful that relationship is going to be. And some folks come and go, but you still maintain those. And so your network is your net worth.
Mhm.
So when I made the decision that I was going to move into a portfolio career phase of my life, it was the collective work that I had with my networks. They gave me the inspiration. I knew that I could do it, and I could lean into my networks to support me, because these were individuals either, and when I say build your network, it's going up and going down. So not only were these individuals that I reported to or mentors along the way, but also the young people that I was their manager for and are now successful.
Mhm.
You know, you do need to network down. So there's an up and down process, because those individuals now, and I was fortunate to be able to be part of their journey and their career success, are now senior vice presidents or COOs and CEOs. And I get to work with them in a different capacity. So those networks are really, really important. They never forget. So I would tell this for our senior leaders out there: take care of your young leaders, because they don't forget you. And they're some of my biggest fan base, and they still reach out to me. I love doing reference checks. I love giving them guidance about a new problem they're going through. But, you know, with this new phase of my career, some of the board work that I'm doing is because of those relationships where they were younger individuals that are now running companies.
Yeah, you just never know the arc of other people's careers, and
Oh,
yeah, I love your network is your net worth, and that's probably good advice for anyone, business person, not a business person. It's just the bigger your community is, I
the
think
better.
the better off you'll find yourself long term. I wanted to talk to you about artificial intelligence. We've been talking about it for a year and a half now here on the radio show, ever really since ChatGPT hit the zeitgeist and people really became aware of the power of this technology. From your perspective, in your portfolio career, and maybe as it relates to Tiger 21, how do you see artificial intelligence influencing and impacting your clients and your field, etc.?
Like, well, that's another area I was an early adopter. So the moment I heard about Chat GPT, and the reason I was able to hear about it so quickly, because I was in education, and so the first chattering about students who were using the tool to do term papers or write essays and reports, that you know, it piqued my curiosity. So I believe that, you know, it is a hot topic. So I've heard this conversation in the Tiger rooms during the Tiger meetings. I've heard them in networking. I've gone to various sessions. Couple of things. One, it's a powerful tool. If you're not using it, you need to get in there. I have used it for just about every area, whether when I was still a COO, even today in my portfolio career. And using it it makes you smarter. I'm just going to be honest with you. When you learn to write your prompts, even as a simple email, it will give you a creative side and a positioning on the way you can phrase something that you never thought before. And I've actually become more intelligent using these tools in writing proposals or drafting a policy. The key is not to use it as it comes to you. You really do need to go back through it, but you get really smart with your prompts. From the Tiger community, and what we've seen in the conversations is there's a lot of interest, not only about the tool to use it personally, but how those that have businesses, how are they going to leverage it in their business? And these are forums and discussions I've heard from other board directors, also that are on boards of companies. You know, it's coming so fast and quickly. One, how do you leverage it? Because we do know we have to use it. Two, are you going to, there's a lot of great ways to use it for doing research. A lot of individuals now, and I've seen this, and even a lot of our Tiger members talk about how they use it just like they use Google. They'll throw it into Chat GPT. It's just a base, whatever you were using Google for, throw it into that engine, whether it's an investment analysis, a contract, or just you're shopping for, it covers everything and just gives you a different perspective. And so I do talk about this quite frequently because I've been asked to talk about AI from different groups that I'm part of. And I use it probably at least 5 to 6 times a week, all the time. And like I said, I've now leveraged it from that side. I know there's a lot of conversations about, you know, what is it going to do in terms of the entertainment industry? I've seen presentations on that, to graphics, to legal, to underwriting. There are going to be disruptions, but I always say that just like any other technology, the work doesn't go away, it just changes. And I think we all need to remember that.
Good advice. Thank you. Love your perspective. Tell me about the future. What's your vision for your portfolio career and your work as the chair for the Newport Beach Tiger 21?
Well, I'm at a phase in my career, and I think it's going to spill over into my chair role with Tiger 21. It's just helping people and creating great experiences. And so I do a lot of volunteering. I do mentor. I mentor 5 women today, executive ladies. And I think that I do that for a couple of reasons. One, it keeps me, as I'm mentoring someone through an issue, a problem, or an opportunity that they're going through, I learn from that experience as well. I don't necessarily have the answers, but I think I've gotten really good at asking good questions. The same for my Tiger Network. I think it all comes back to questioning. And, there's a great book called Humble Inquiry, where it teaches you how to give a nice, open question. It's amazing. Even as I've curated my Tiger 21 group, my questioning process has gotten extremely strong in opening questions, and it helps you in your networking setting. So for me, that is something I'm enjoying. And then for my Tiger role, my goal, because I'm very goals driven, is I want to create an amazing experience for these members. I want them to feel like they're getting the best in class information from their peers, share with them the power of the Tiger Network, because we have, not only do we do the monthly meetings, but there are educational sessions that take place throughout the year. There's conferences. They're allowed to go to other meetings. They may be traveling to London or Dubai, and they want to visit the meeting there. Our members have that ability to do that. I want to make sure that they are completely aware of the value and the privilege to be a Tiger member, because we do have access to some of the best resources in the world, not only in terms of speakers, but educational content. That collective knowledge, when these individuals walk in the room, I want to make sure that they are armed and that they are very aware with the best insights and data. And if I can give them an aha moment, because these are really smart, successful individuals, but if I can have them leave each meeting and go, that was worth it for me. I didn't want to come. I just left, and that made it worth it for me. That is my goal each time that they go to a Tiger meeting.
Love it. So if someone would like to reach out to you on LinkedIn or follow up with you through, say, Tiger 21, how do you suggest they do that, Ena?
The best place is LinkedIn. I'm very active on LinkedIn. My email for Tiger is on there as well. And I do stay actively engaged. I keep it updated. So that is the best place to get a hold of me, is through LinkedIn.
Well, I said at the top of the show, ladies and gentlemen, we were going to have a good show. And Ena, you did not you delivered. You did not fail me. You were excellent, interesting, and I wish you nothing but continued success in your portfolio career. And thank you for being a guest on our show.
Thank you for having me, Rick. Have a great day.
And thanks to the audience. You've now been a part of Orange County's longest running business talk show. Ena's episode is now a part of our catalog with over 1,500 shows that we've done with Orange County entrepreneurs and nonprofit leaders. If you're one of those and you'd like to be a future guest, it's easy. If we're not connected on LinkedIn, reach out to me in the connection request. Just mention that you have an interest in being a guest on the show. If we're already connected, just send me a message on LinkedIn and I'll be happy to follow up. Between Haley, our producer, and myself, we can help you to get ready to be a guest on the radio program. We'd love to have you share your story with our audience. Until we're all together again, I hope all of your business decisions move your organizations in a positive direction.